Every single person in this world has a story to share. Your story is your superpower, and it's unique to you. In sharing it with the world, you can impact millions of people. If you keep it to yourself, you are doing the world a disservice. This is Dela. I'm the host of Dela's Voice, and I help you share your superpower with the world.
Hello! Welcome back to another episode of Dela's Voice. What a fantastic platform I have here. I'm so blessed by this because I get to speak to unbelievable people, bring their stories to you, and hopefully inform, inspire, and motivate you. Keeping an open mind. That is the topic of today's show. If you're an entrepreneur, you already know the value of keeping an open mind. I think one of my biggest assets has always been my open mind, keeping my mind open to new experiences, to opportunities. And I mean, not always good because I've made a lot of mistakes. But that's all they've been, mistakes that have led me to learn lessons that brought me here to this very moment. Unfortunately, if you don't have an open mind, you don't really get to experience much. And maybe, just maybe, that's the roadblock that you have preventing you from moving forward. So my hope is that today, by speaking to my guest, you'll hear his story and his side on why it's so important to keep an open mind, especially if you have a passion for entrepreneurship. So my guest today is Myles Doak. He calls himself the serial Canadian entrepreneur, the real entrepreneur who is not afraid of trying things. And I mean, his bio is just amazing. So I'm going to read you a little bit about Myles. So Myles Doak co-founded the original Hockey Lacebelt. Listen to this, at the age of 18. Okay, so I don't know if you remember when you were 18, but I certainly was not thinking of inventing anything at 18. And here he is inventing something really cool. I'm going to talk a little bit about that later in detail. So at the age of 18, this young man invents this thing, this belt, this original belt that's made out of hockey lace that takes him to CBC's Dragons Den season 6 and lands him a deal. I mean, this is a fantastic story. Then in 2013, Myles founded SummerSkates. I remember my son buying these sandals, and I thought they were the coolest thing ever. I had no idea you founded them, actually. Myles, I would have come and gotten them from you. I think this is the coolest thing ever. So, again, another fantastic invention. And then in 2017, he founded Big Balls Golf, a putting training aid, which brought him onto CBC Dragons Den, again, landing him another deal in season 12. I think this is a fascinating journey. And at such a young age, this young man has so much wisdom, and he's already experienced so much. And I can't wait to bring him on so we can hear all about that from the very truly spirited entrepreneur, Myles Doak. So help me welcome Myles Doak on Dela's Voice. Welcome, Myles!
Oh, I love your energy. I can feel it through the computer.
Did you?
I do. Your frequency is just there. Like, I love it so much.
I've been accused of worse.
Oh, I'm pumped. I'm pumped now. Like, even that little intro right there, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to be here.
Oh my gosh.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Myles. I'm so glad you're here. I got to tell you, I wanted to do this interview for a long time. And so I'm so glad that you're finally here and we get to have this chat. I think you're going to have so much to say and you'll bring so much. But I think above all, you'll be inspiring a lot of people today. So I want to take a moment and please encourage all the viewers who are watching this show, be generous and please share this talk with your loved ones because you just never know whose life you might touch today. So thank you for that. Okay, well, here we go, Myles. It's 2021.
Ooh.
I know. And you have done so much already with your life. I want to go back and hear a little bit about that, about how you grew up and what does it take for a family to raise an entrepreneur like you?
Yeah, like, you know, as I get older, 29 now, and I reflect backwards on life, it's like, why am I the way that I am? And it's 100% because my parents, my mom and dad, their mixture of themselves and parenting me and definitely created this human that you see today. That is also continuously growing, but creating an entrepreneur, I don't think you can create an entrepreneur. It's just, I feel like it's kind of just in you. I'm not sure. Like, I definitely wasn't growing up being like, I'm an entrepreneur. When I just wanted to compete. That's for sure. Like, my whole life, very competitive athlete, just trying to win at anything, but that was through sports. And, in high school, you're doing the classes, you're learning about history and whatever else they teach you, cutting open a frog and seeing what's inside. It's like, oh, I have no interest in that. And you know what? Through high school, I was like, am I dumb? Because I have no interest in this and I'm not doing well. Never finding what my path was. So I just always went back to sports because I loved that part of it. And it was actually my Uncle Jack, who was an entrepreneur his whole life. He's like, you're in business. And then, I don't know, like, only later in life, probably 18, 19, 20, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of like this business stuff. I don't know if that answers your question, but
for sure, and I agree with you that a lot of times we go to school and we just go through the motion. And I remember going through the motion of going to all these classes that I had absolutely no interest in, and I think everybody can relate to that. And we put kids through that. We put all the kids through that. Like, you got to take this class, and they have absolutely no interest. And meanwhile, that does things to us, because if you're not interested in that particular course and you're not doing well in it, you're like, oh my.
Yeah, like, for me, it's like, oh, it's grade 11, grade 12. Like, in the high school system, you need to make your decisions. Like, you need to take these classes to go to university to do X, right? And I was like, I don't really like any of this. And I'm not doing well in any of these. So am I lesser than everyone else because I'm not excelling in these things and like going to a clear path into university? And you know what? That was hard to take because, being competitive and wanting to be a winner and then feeling like you're losing because all your friends around you, they're like, oh no, I know exactly what I'm doing. Like I'm going to take these academic courses and then I'm going to go to Western or Laurier or Queens. And I'm like, I hate this stuff right now. Right. So feeling like suffocated in that sense, that was definitely tough, you know, that grade 11, grade 12, feeling that way. But, you know, this is the supportive family that's around me, and, you know, they made me feel safe for sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, my dad's a firefighter in Newmarket for 30 plus years. And it was like, oh, just go be a firefighter. And I went and did one semester at Seneca College for down the firefighting road. And I lasted one semester. I was doing chemistry and math. And I was like,
well, of course, you need that for firefighting.
Like, I can't do math. And then, so like, I think I did 5 classes. I probably failed 3 out of 5. I was like devastated. I'm like, I guess I am an idiot. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So dropped out of there, worked for 6 months. And then I went to St. Lawrence College for business marketing. And that changed everything for me.
And you found it. So here you are, and at 18, a bunch of your friends are going to go to university, and you're feeling left behind, like you're not able to compete with them. What was it like with your parents? Like how are they reacting? Because I know a lot of parents are kind of forcing their kids to go to that higher education, to pursue university, college, or whatever. So I want your take on this, because I totally agree with what.
Yeah, my parents were not like that at all. Like, oh, you need to go to university to go get a good job. They were never like that. And as well, at 18, this is when the Lacebelt started. So I was kind of like peeking around the corner of this entrepreneurship world. I was a part of that, which also was distracting, but probably the best thing ever. But my parents were never like, got to get good grades, you got to go to a good university, you got to get your degree. Like, they were never like that. They were always supportive of everything that I was doing. But I was going through that journey of the original Hockey Lacebelt, and that was my peak into the entrepreneurship world with my Uncle Jack. And I was like, oh, this is like, that gave me energy. Like, I was like, this is fun. Like, I don't care about anything else. Like, oh, this is the idea, like sewing prototypes, making that happen. And then like seeing it come to life. That gave me like the fuel, the energy. So that was probably the first little secret of like, this is your path. Like, this is what you should be doing.
That's really cool. So, okay, so let's talk about that. So people are like, okay, what the heck is a lace belt?
Yeah.
So I got a picture here. Let me put it up on the screen so you can see what a lace belt looks like. Okay, so this was the original hockey belt made out of hockey laces, right? Skate laces. So tell us how that all came about, Myles.
Okay, so
hang on, let me just take this off. Yeah.
My
Okay.
cousins, my Uncle Jack and Cherry, I was super close with their family. I spent so much time with them. And at that time, I would wear a single hockey lace as my belt, right? Like, not an actual belt. I would just tie a hockey lace in. And my uncle one day is like, what if there was an actual belt made out of hockey laces? It's like, oh, boom, light bulb. So we started, messing around with it. I went home to my mom. I'm like, can you teach me how to sew on the sewing machine? She's like, okay. Gets the sewing machine out, got hockey laces, started sewing them together, made a couple prototypes, drove back to my uncle's house. I'm like, look how cool this is. Then him being the entrepreneur, he's like, yep, that looks good. He went and made pretty much everything happening, found a manufacturer, kind of brought it to life. But I got to be along for the journey and see the idea come to actual life and then being sold in stores. That was the journey of the original Hockey Lacebelt. And like I said, that gave me like energy. I was like, this is fun. So that kind of pushed me into that world.
Tell me about this picture.
Okay, so that's Dragons Den, in the den, so we were selling lace belts, selling them to distributors, selling them to stores. And then my Uncle Jack was like, let's go for Dragons Den, which was a long process. We went to Barrie and sat in a hotel lobby for like 8 hours and then pitched to producers. Anyways, we got to the show and we went down there, pitched to the Dragons, got a deal. Shout out to my girlfriend on the very far right.
Yeah.
that I've been with for 9 years. We weren't dating at that time, but pretty good move by me by inviting her onto Dragons Den.
Good job.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
It worked out, I guess. It worked out.
I want to bring your attention, people, to what Myles is wearing around his waist. Is that
Yeah,
that's the thing? So that's where it all started. That from that single lace around your belt.
Yes, yeah, that's where it all started. And you know what? It was great. It was a great experience, right? Went on. Okay, then the business continues on. But I wanted to be a part of it more, right? I loved it so much, but it was kind of like too far away from me, which kind of put a chip on my shoulder. I was like, oh, okay, like I can't influence this business enough. I needed to do something else. And I remember watching that show and the way that like you're in the Dragons Den for like 25 minutes and the episode's 8 minutes long. And I don't say a single word on that episode. I remember watching it. I'm like, I'm going back on that show. I remember it so clearly. I'm like, I'm going back on the show. I had no idea what I was going to go back on that show for, but I was like, I'm going back on that show and I'm going to make that happen 100%. So, Lacebelt, great experience. It was never really built as an actual business. It was more like had the idea, made the product, sold it to distributors, distributors sold it to stores, stores sold it to consumers. No real like branding behind it, anything like that. So great run, brought me into the entrepreneurship game. I'm forever grateful for that experience. But that's what led me into SummerSkates, which was the next thing. I went to college. That's where I watched the episode. And that chip on my shoulder, I was like, okay, let's see if I can do something on my own, right? That was my mentality going into it. And I was like, oh, it's a belt made out of hockey laces. No one can see the laces unless you tuck in your shirt. Where would you see the laces? On your feet, flip-flops.
Yes.
So we go down the journey again of another product, which was going to be SummerSkates.
Amazing. So here, I want to stop you for a second because I know of so many people who, would look at something and say, why couldn't I think of something like that?
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, a lot of us have this creative mind and we have thought about something. Wouldn't it be cool if something like this existed? But we just don't take that extra step to make it happen. And so why do you think that is?
I think you just put up mental blocks for yourself, especially now. Like, it's not that hard to actually create something and actually see it and test it in the market to see if people like it. If you like it, you'll probably be able to find a couple thousand people that like it as well. The internet has connected us all together. And so the reason that people stop is, I don't know, they're scared. I don't know.
Yeah. They're scared. And we put that fear into our own mind because, like you said, there's so much truth into that. I want to reiterate what you just said. If you like it, there's probably a couple of 100,000 other people who also like it.
Yes.
And I know that for a fact from like interviewing all these amazing people on this platform, because some of the ideas have been so, overwhelmingly different. And I've been like, but who'd listen to that or who'd want that? And you see that there is interest. like you said, if you like it, a couple of 100,000 other people like it. Myles, we're just going to take a second and say hello to the people who are watching us. Thank you so much for being here with us today on Dela's Voice and watching this journey. I want to encourage you to please share this with other people and let them see what having an open mind can do for us in life. Right. And so, okay, so let's go back to the flip-flops. And so here, then you have this image of going back onto the Dragon's Den, and you're like, I know I'm going to go there. I just don't know how, but I'm going to go there. And so I know that we talked about this. How important is it for a person to really see it and go through that visualization to make something happen? And I know you totally believe this.
Yeah, I'm a huge believer in it.
Yeah.
And it's probably in the last 4 or 5 years, I had the idea of it, but I put it into practice, and you know what? The proof is there. I believe it. I believe that you can paint the picture of your own life. You have to visualize what you want. Obviously, you have to put the work in to get to it, but you can pretty much create the life that you want to live 100%, right? Like, obviously, there's lots of things that you can't control, outside factors that come in, but you can create the life that you want to live. I believe that visualization of it, manifesting exactly what you want is 100%. Everything that happens in my life, I think deeply and intensely about, and then I work towards it every single day. And guess what? It just starts to unfold and things happen. Wow. The power is there.
So did you always know that, Myles, or how did you figure this out?
No, I did not. No, like, at that time, leaving high school, of kind of like confused and lost. Honestly, I went down like a path of like listening to like 60-minute like compilations of like Tony Robbins and motivational speaker stuff, right? I would just feed that into my brain like every single day. And then I started to pursue the SummerSkate journey, which is what I wanted to happen. And then things started to happen, and it's like, okay, I believe it. Okay, I believe it. And then just continue to grow and grow and grow on top of it. It's like you put a big idea out into the world, but you reverse engineer it backwards and work small steps towards it. And then a year, 2 years, 3 years after, you're like, look how much I have accomplished. And then it's like, okay, I believe it even more. And it just continues to grow.
So I'm gonna put up a picture, and these are the SummerSkates.
SummerSkates, yeah.
The SummerSkates, yeah.
That was like the first order that we ever had. We drove to St. Louis for the St. Louis Blues. They put them in their pro shop. It was a playoff game against Chicago. Went to triple overtime. My first playoff game ever. Yeah.
So
even SummerSkates, right? SummerSkates. I wanted to make SummerSkates kind of like prove to myself that I could do it again or do it by myself. So went and found a manufacturer, made the product, got some 3,000 pairs in, sold those throughout the summer while I was building pools the whole time. Terrible job. But building that up, right? And now, like, we probably sold 350,000 pairs of those now. Like, that's so crazy.
God.
That's so crazy. It's so crazy. Like, we've definitely sold every province, every single state in the U.S. Yeah. We've sold across the pond into Europe. Like, it was just like this small idea, and it just grew.
And so my son has the Maple Leafs ones, obviously.
Yeah.
But they're good product too. Like Honestly, like probably not good for business to have a pair for 3 years, but that's how long his hat is for
Yeah.
3 years. And
Yeah,
I
they
know,
last.
right, they last a long time. So wow, fantastic product, and so happy for you. That many sold, and it's still, I'm sure it's still doing well, because it's
Yeah.
one of those things that everybody loves and will forever use. That's really cool. What about the belt? What was the success rate on the belt, Myles?
I think that we sold 60,000 belts over those couple of years, which was great. So, which was just crazy at the time, 60,000 belts. But like I said before, it was never like a core business. It was more like idea, create the product,
Yeah,
sell it to distributor, distributor sells it to consumers, no website, no social media, no marketing behind it. So
amazing. So you look at you look back at these great, huge. I mean, these are great, huge successes, and great, huge wins, especially at for a young man. Um, what do you contribute mostly to the success?
persistence, you know, especially like those early ones, like the Lacebelt one, like it's a great story, but I can't really contribute my like input into the success of it. I was kind of just like in the passenger side of it, but that's what led me into the SummerSkate journey. And then on the SummerSkate journey, it's just believing in it and putting in the work, like just putting in the work, especially those early SummerSkate days. You're just like working so hard every single day with like nothing right in front of it. Like no, it's not like, oh, this is a product, explode. No, it was every single day, put the work in, and then lift your head up in 3 years. And you're like, oh, actually, we're doing pretty good. And then continue on from that. So persistence, hard work, belief in yourself, I guess.
That comes in. You know what? That's a piece that's really, really important, because there's always going to be people around you who are the naysayers, and who are going to tell you, oh, this is, not going to work. Did you have
It's a
anyone
flip
like
flop
that?
with hockey laces.
Say again?
It's a flip flop with hockey laces. It's not this like, that's what it is, right? So luckily, I have a great support group around me of family and friends that, they cheered the whole journey of it, right? They cheered the whole journey of it. So I'm especially lucky to have that.
And sometimes we're born, like you said, blessed to have already that supporting entourage or our tribe. And that's really important, to have the support system around you. But if you don't already have it,
you can find it.
Yeah, you can find it, couldn't you?
You can find it.
Yeah. How would you find it?
The internet is here. It has connected us all. This crazy thing that exploded probably, I don't know, 1995 on, has connected so many people. So you can find like-minded people that have your same beliefs, your same passions, and you can build your own community. It's no longer location-based. They're everywhere. So you can find people. Just put out into the world what you believe in, and they will come to you.
People are going to watch this and say, well, what do you mean, put it out to the world? Elaborate, please.
Yeah. Well, also too, self-awareness. If you don't want to put it out to the world, don't do it, right? Don't do anything you don't want. But almost, that goes, it's an energy thing, put out that positive energy, you will receive it back. You wake up every day and every day sucks and you're negative, and, you'll get that back. But if you wake up and every day's a blessing and you put out that positive energy, those people will come to you. That's how the universe works, I think.
It truly does. Myles, tell us a little bit about, so then what happened? Because now you're like, you have this big dream of going back to Dragons Den.
Yes.
And so then what?
So SummerSkates is going. We're building a team. It's starting to really, really grow. It's growing into like a real business. Amazing. But, you know, back to the self-awareness, I'm like, I love the idea stage of it, like this and that, create it and then put it out in the world. So I have this idea for an oversized golf ball. Okay, oversized golf ball is a putting training aid. Me as a 11-year-old, I used to play basketball with an oversized basketball. You shoot hoops with the oversized basketball, got the regular basketball back. It feels easy to sink. Golf, putting, if I putt with a bigger ball and then I go back to the regular size golf ball, it will be easier. That's the idea of it. So go down the journey, find the manufacturer, put it all together, do a Kickstarter, which is a crowdfunding platform, which is pretty much like pre-sales, and make an amazing video, put it out there, $20,000 in sales in 30 days. I'm like, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. Do that, and then Dragons Den emails me. They're like, hey, saw your Kickstarter, saw that you were on the show before. Do you want to come back? I'm like, here it is.
Thank you.
This is what I asked for.
So if you're wondering what that looks like, this is the Big Balls golf. It makes total sense as you're telling the story. I'm like, of course you would need training golf balls. Like, yeah. You have training wheels for your bike.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like anything else. This is fantastic. It makes total sense. Okay. So then you didn't have to even go look for them. They came looking for you.
Yes. I think it was the universe.
Well, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I thought, like, when I looked back, I was like, I'm going back on there. And I thought about it, and I thought about it. And then when I had the idea of the big balls, and I was going through, I'm like, this is the one. This is the one. I can go back on the show for this. Did the thing, and then they email me. They're like, hey, you want to come on Dragons Den? I'm like, yes, I actually do want to come back on Dragons Den. I've only been thinking about it for 5 years.
Yeah. So then, how was that experience, Myles?
It was amazing. I'll let you in on a little secret. So, had the idea, do the Kickstarter, had the manufacturer, okay, put in the order. December, the Kickstarter starts. January, order's supposed to come in. I ordered 5,000 big balls, the first order. Then we come in, it's about March, no big balls. They haven't delivered them to me yet. I'm like, oh my God. Dragons Den reaches out to me. Hey, you want to come on Dragons Den? I'm like, yeah, for sure. I go to the last week, which is like in April, like probably last week of April. March, no big balls, no big balls. I'm like, you have to send me at least 1,000 out of the 5,000. They send me 800 big balls. They're all horrible. All the product that they sent me, terrible.
Why?
Because they couldn't mass produce them, I guess. But I get the balls. I put them in the bags. I have 12 good samples. I'm like, I'm still going on Dragons Den. I'm just going to bullshit it the whole way through. So I pack up my truck, drive down to CBC in Toronto at like 6 a.m. I have 12 good big balls. The rest are horrible, but they're all packaged up. Go into the den, and I'm just like, everything is amazing. Like, I have it all figured out on the show, but in real life, it's like, I don't have anything figured out. But I believe that I should have been there, and I killed it, and got a deal on the show. And then so you get a deal on the show, and then after you meet with like the handler of the investments, I'm like, I got to figure out my manufacturing before we can actually do this deal. So then it took like another year for me to figure out the manufacturing, but that's just a little behind the business of Dragons Den.
Here's a picture of you actually there.
Yeah, so confident.
And yeah. What's going? I mean, honestly, it takes a lot of courage to be there, and it must. I mean, it must be intimidating.
It was, but I just honestly, I think it's because, well, it just goes back to like, visualization. I thought of myself back there in Dragons Den for so long that I knew what was going to happen when I went in there. Like, it's 4 or 5 years that I was thinking about that. I'm going back on the show. So when I went back on the show, I'm like, this is 100%. I knew I was going to get a deal. I just knew it. So.
Such a great idea. Oh my gosh. That's such a great idea. So congratulations. How's that? How are the big balls doing now?
Yeah, 2019, I had an amazing year. It was incredible. I was super pumped for 2020. COVID happened. My manufacturer disappeared. Lost my manufacturer, lost a bunch of money. Whatever, take it, move on. Found a new manufacturer, just signed the deal like last week. So I'll have big balls in April, and then we start again. And I'm super confident in it. There's 20 million golfers, and the internet connects us all.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I just love your enthusiasm and your energy. It's amazing. It's contagious. It's contagious.
Yeah, I feel the same about you.
Thank you. But you know what? You make it seem so. You make it seem so easy, Myles. Like you make it seem so possible. And for this whole creation process of making something new from nothing, from just an idea, it's so fascinating to me. I can't tell you that I've ever invented anything, but I can
Dela's
feel.
voice.
Pardon?
Dela's voice.
What? Yes, and I was gonna say I can feel I can feel what you're saying, because this was an idea and this came to fruition. Exactly the same way, keeping an open mind and implementing it, visualizing it, and persistence and consistency. I mean, that's so important, right? Just showing up.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, your journey is amazing. You're so talented. You're so wonderful. You have so much energy. I want to thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. And then you go on and you launch something new, totally new, Umbrella Media. Tell us about that and how that all got started, because that's how I met you.
Yeah. So, probably I did 6 or 7 years of leveraging the internet to build my own businesses, right? I look at these platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever it is, right? The connection of the internet to reaching your consumers or customers, I just saw that. And I love local businesses. I just love the essence of it. And I just saw that there was a gap, that they weren't using these platforms to help themselves. So I wanted to take everything that I have learned over those 6-7 years and help them. So Umbrella Media is pretty much using all of my experience and money spent on using these platforms to help benefit their businesses and helping them. If you look at Newmarket, for example, right? There's about, I think there's 55,000 people on Facebook, Instagram in Newmarket. So if you're a local business, create a piece of content, the modern day commercial, and run it on the platform where people's attention are. That will benefit your business. There's tons of ways to do it: direct mail, radio or paper, or nothing. But the cost of entry into that platform is so low, and the upside is so big. I just wanted to take that and help local businesses do it. So that was the birth of Umbrella Media. And, so the only goal of that is, and how cool would it be if you could just impact like 1,000 local businesses? Like, love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, Newmarket has such a community feel, and I know that small businesses, they thrive on just the locals, right? They thrive on the
Absolutely.
local
And as well too, like I also felt, the difference of like a marketing company or an advertising agency or whatever it is I do this for myself every day, for my own businesses. So I have full empathy for the business owner. It's like, yeah, I'm going to give you $500. That $500 is very important. So you need to actually allocate those dollars to create more dollars, not just give me your money. I'll give you like, 1,000 impressions. No, you are a business. I have empathy for the business owner. Let's take these dollars and create 3, 4, 5x on those dollars, because that's what's important. That's how you actually do it. So I feel like having that while I'm doing it for myself at the same time and having empathy for the business owner is the competitive advantage for Umbrella Media.
And there's so many people who are so intimidated, especially,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're from my generation, we were not born cable ready.
Yeah.
We had to learn our ways. And so all of this, the social media and all of that, can be very intimidating. So having someone taking care of it for us and not having to spend a lot of money on that's totally, totally helpful. So
like the best case for me on that is like, okay, let's say you work with me for 6 to 8 months, right? But I want to teach them. So then it's like after that 6 to 8 months, they can just do them themselves.
Nice.
It's almost like, let me show you this world and how it works and how to do it. And then you will be able to do it and do it internally for your company to do it for the next, 5, 7, 10 years. Like that's what the goal of that is.
Okay. So that totally brings us back like full circle to the topic of our show, honestly. And you know what, keeping an open mind in life in general, but especially in business, and so can you talk on that a little bit, because a lot of people are resisting.
I think it's not even their fault. You're kind of bred of, you learn in school and then you're done at whatever, 21, 22, whatever it is. And guess what? You're done learning. Like, what a weird, like, mentality to have. Should we not be learners forever? Like, that's what you have to break out of. It's like, don't be scared to try new things and learn new things. Do you think you have it all figured out? You know everything at 22, 23? Like, no, I didn't know anything. Like I'm 29 right now. I don't know nothing. The only thing I know is that I don't know.
Yeah.
Consistently learning forever and always.
Yes.
I hope I'm 79 and I'm learning something new. But that's like a mentality switch that you just need to have a self-talk, right? Talk with yourself like, okay. And as well, learning is a muscle. So start with something small, learn it. You're like, check. Start with another task, learn it. And then it's like 90 days later, look how far you've come. Amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. And I love that. The more I learn, the more I know how much I don't know. So there's like, we're always forever learning.
Forever. And momentum is a beautiful thing, Those small wins, they build on each other. And then it's like, okay, now I have like some momentum and you feel more confident and and you can believe in yourself more, and those add up. Small wins add up over time.
Oh, yeah, that's so important. And we often underestimate our wins. And so we forget. And you kind of reminded us of that. Look back and think of all the accomplishments you've had, like in the past years.
And this is, especially right now, right? It's January, new year, right? Everyone is like building off of what they want to do. I feel that, you're winning and you're doing that, and then maybe you miss a day, maybe you mess up, whatever it is. Don't ever take that miss and carry that for all you have done. It's like, oh, I've done 7 days in a row of all these good things, and then on 8th day I messed up, and you kind of kill your momentum in your own head of that. And you forget that you just did 7 days in a row of all this good thing. It's like, okay, messed up. Okay, no, back on it. Let's continue on for another 3, 4, 7, 10 days, And then it's like, look at the full month, 30 days. Okay, I had 4 misses and the rest were.
Yes, that's great. It's so true. It's so true. Because that kind of propels you forward, and you give yourself the encouragement. We always need that. We always need to get encouraged.
Yeah, you need to. I think I guess as humans, naturally, you're just like so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
You don't pat yourself on the back as much as you should.
True.
And you let the negatives weigh you down, and you don't let the positives lift you up as much as they should. I think that, train yourself to lift yourself up on the wins and don't beat yourself down on the negatives. Everyone's going to lose a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
We're not perfect.
And you know what? It's only if we don't like lose some days, how are we to learn?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I just want to go over some of the names of the people. I can only see you if you leave us a comment. So if you want to say hi to Myles and give him some love, put it in the comment section. Frida's here, Zara, Tammy, Sarah. Marianne says, I love your attitude, Myles.
Thank you.
So what's next, young man?
What's next is, I've really self-reflected on what gives me energy and the things that I like. So I'm in the constant pursuit of painting my own picture. So right now, 2021, I'm going to build Umbrella up. I'm going to build Big Balls up. I'm going to build some infrastructure within that so I can spend the time, the things that I love, which is more of like the marketing and sales side of it, the creation side of it. So I'm just in the constant pursuit of building the life that I want. And it's super hard. But what else are we doing here?
What are we doing here? Myles, what's your definition of success?
Happiness. Just happy. Just be happy. Structure your life to give you the most happiness that you can have. For some people, it's working like crazy. That gives you happiness. For some people, it's hanging out with your family. That's happiness. For some people, it's traveling. That's happiness. Whatever it is for you, whatever gives you the most happiness, gives you the most energy, and then paint your picture. That's it.
Do you have a clear picture of a painting in your head?
Yes. Would you like to hear?
Yes. Yes. Would love to hear.
Okay. I would like a parent company. It's called 91 Ventures, born in 1991. That's what it is. And underneath it is a bunch of individual companies. Umbrella, Big Balls, Company X, right? Because I just love creating. And within that company, I have 7 to 10 people that work for me, and they absolutely love
their jobs.
love it. And I can give them everything that they need, whether it's a money or vacation or benefits, whatever it is. But they love every single day going into work and doing what they do. And so yeah, that's it. You know, I could go in deeper. I could go in deeper of like where I live and what my house looks like, drive to the office. But that's the core of it. I just want to have. I just want to do what I love to do, but as well build like a little team or family and allow them to love. Because you know the work part of it, you need to have the work part of it, right? You need to make money. You need to have like a purpose of it. And if I can just influence those people within my life, you know, 7, 10, 15 people, and they just love it so much, you know, they spend 40 hours with me and they love those 40 hours. And as well, it gives them everything that they need to have the rest of their life.
Yeah.
You know,
that's you got it. And I totally see you there, Myles, for sure. You know, you gave me so much today, and I want to thank you. Yeah, like I always learn so much from my guests, but so what I learned today is very valuable to me because I'm going to go back to keeping an open mind, and getting back to my childlike wonder. That's what you reminded me of today. That I always need to keep that part active, because that's the creative part. That's the part that has no limit. That's the part that believes in magic. So that's
magic is real.
Magic is real. Totally. Myles, I know you're a kind person. I just know you are.
Because my mom
met you in person. And what are some acts of kindness that really resonate with you in life?
Giving without any expectations, right? I just want to give value, but I don't need anything in return, right? Anywhere I could help, I'm going to do me. I'm going to build whatever my life is. I don't need anything from the other side. But if I can give out, you know, and add value on the other side, that's an amazing experience. Also, buy the person behind you in Tim Hortons at the drive-thru. It's a great experience.
Yes.
It costs like $3 and you just feel amazing.
Elevated. Yeah. Agreed.
Like I invite everyone that's listening, when next time you're in Tim Hortons, ask what the person behind you got ordered. Now, if they got like lunch for the whole office and it's $27, maybe try the next time. But if it's $3, pay for that and drive away, you'll feel amazing.
Oh, so good. You're so right. That is like giving with no expectation. And yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Thank you so much for that reminder. Oh my goodness. Myles, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here today and giving us so much. It was wonderful talking to you. So much fun. So much value in what you said, and the inspiration you left us with today. We'll see the aftermath. It always shows up, you know, the ripple effect of these talks. You can only expect great things to come out of this. But I do want to give you a few more minutes to leave us with whatever you want.
Oh.
Okay, so I don't know if you've ever had an urge to be on a stage, to talk to and a big audience. I don't know if that's ever been a part of your dream. Has it? I'm going to ask you.
Like this is something that internally I've gone back and forth with. It's like, my close circle of friends, they hear me all the time like this, right? They hear me all the time and they're amazing and they tell me they love it. And then it's like, do I want to, I guess I should share it with the world, right? I guess it's like an insecurity of like, well, you don't know nothing, like shut up, right? Like, so that's always a battle that I've had, but I'm leaning more towards of like, nah, might as well just say it. I always think about if I put content out in the world and, I have a kid in a couple of years and he can look back and watch these when he's like my age, that would be pretty cool too. So I'm leaning more towards that. Sorry, what was the question?
I was going to get to, what if you had that right now? This was like you have like 3 minutes of leaving a legacy.
There has never been a better time to design your life of how you want it to be. Take a step back, find out what you like, what you don't like, what gives you energy, what sucks energy from you. And you can put the pieces together and paint the picture of your life for exactly how you want it to, Even from talking to you, right? Like, how amazing is Canada? Whew. Crazy.
It's amazing.
Amazing. So take advantage of that, right? You can design your life for it to be exactly how you want it to be. It's going to be hard and it's going to take a long time. But what else are we doing here? What else are we doing here? You might as well make your life exactly how you want it to be, That, and on the pursuit of that, it's going to be hard and you're going to get knocked down. Just brush them off. We all lose. But on the pursuit of your journey, take the wins and accept them as wins. Take the losses and accept them as losses, but don't worry about them. Something like that. I don't know. Meditate, take cold showers, go for a run.
I heard something. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn.
Yes. Yeah.
And you remind me.
Yeah, it's part of it. Like, it's just part of it. Like, who cares? You messed up. Move on.
And meditate, take cold showers, and run.
Yeah. Meditate, because we live in such a noisy world and everything's going on. You can't imagine what 20 minutes to yourself can do to your mental space. It's an amazing thing. Take cold showers, because you live in such a comfortable world and everything is given to you. You live in a warm house, you go to a warm car, you go to a warm office. Yeah, maybe go into the cold for 3 minutes and have that mental battle as well. It's good for you. And then go for a run or go for a walk, move your body, be outside. It will help.
Thank you. How can people follow you, Myles? Where do they go to find you?
See, this is part of it. Like, do I want to just build in the shadows, or do I give myself to the world?
I say give yourself to the world. You got
Myles Doak, MYLES Doak, DOAK on Instagram. It's private though. I will look through your profile and see if you add value to my life before you could follow. But yeah,
And that's all right.
Just search on the internet. You'll find me where I do.
Thank you. And so with that, Myles Doak, I want to thank you for being here and being my guest today on Dela's Voice. Thank you so much for sharing from your heart. I wish you the very best, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see your dreams come true and watch you as you manifest everything that you have visualized for yourself, because that is going to happen, my friend. And I'll be like, yes, I knew this was gonna happen.
Look back at the tape. You already said it.
Yeah, you said it. You said it. You said it. That's it. That's it. And for everyone who's been watching, I want to thank you for being with us today and spending the hour with us. Please do share this talk with other people. Follow my YouTube channel at Dela's Voice and subscribe and press that little bell so that you can, when the new stuff is coming out. And I want to thank you for your support. As always, this was Dela's Voice, hoping to spark your soul. Till next time. Bye.